Welcome. I'm Tim Fortescue, an IFS specializing in spiritual growth and healing, and some who've experienced religious trauma, and others that are just seeking guidance in life or on their spiritual journey in particular. And I'm so grateful for this community. Keep being amazed at how it continues to grow and you engage with your questions. And so know that I encourage that, whether you're watching the live. I found that many people catch the recording of this after the live and may watch it and have questions. And so type those questions in the chat. And what I'm going to start doing is each week, I do this each Tuesday at the same time. I'm in the Madison, Wisconsin area. I always love to know where people are chiming in from. And so let me know that too, whether if you'd like to, whether you're joining the live or watching the recording. But type your questions in the chat. And then next week on Tuesday, those questions that come in throughout the week, I will address them in the live. And then if you ask that question, you can catch it live, or you can go back and watch the recording and get some answers to your questions. But if you're watching the live, also put your questions in the chat, and I will do my best to engage with those at the end of our time. Today, I'm just going to lead us in a simple meditation to check in with our parts. And you may want to even chime in with some of the parts that you're noticing, what is coming up, and I'd be glad to maybe guide you knowing some of the parts that are coming up in the meditation. You can find more about me on my website, faithfullygrowing.com, and do what you're supposed to do, or what you're allowed to do, not supposed to do. You do what you want to do. You don't have to do anything. But if you feel like doing so and you haven't, like, share, subscribe, follow, and let others know about this free content, and would love to continue serving as a resource. If you have the capacity, I have a nonprofit aspect to my practice that allows me to help others access IFS coaching that may not normally have access to it. And so if you're interested in donating, you can do that at faithfullygrowing.com/donate. But no pressure there. Glad you're here regardless, but every little bit helps. And if you need support and resources, check out my website too. You may want to check out the Faithfully Growing community, where I offer a live drop-in for an hour once a week via Zoom, where you can actually ask me your questions. We can engage a little bit and help you there. And so you can check that out at faithfullygrowing.com/offering. One last commercial, and I'm heading to the meditation. I also have a couple one-on-one slots available in my coaching practice right now. So just want to get that word out. If you need some support, book a consult, and I would love to meet you. No obligation. It's free. And even if it's just us getting to know each other a little bit, putting faces to some of the folks that are joining here, I would love to do that. And you can do that on the website too. And you can always send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com if that's helpful. If IFS is new to you, if you go on the How I Work page on my website, you can find a 3-minute video that I explain the model a little bit, and that may be helpful to you. Okay, well, hope you've had a good week, and let's just take a bit to check in with our parts together. I know it's morning for me here, trying to get started with my work, and it's good just to pause. Kids are off to school, some quietness in the house. And so let's just pause together and check in with our parts. And begin just by taking a couple deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you'd like to, but if that's uncomfortable, just let your gaze rest softly in front of you. Or maybe you have some active parts and it makes sense to just kind of slowly walk within earshot of my voice and participate in the meditation that way. Maybe you want to lie down. Just tune into your inner world and see what you're noticing. May be helpful as you breathe in to imagine breathing in things like calmness, compassion, curiosity, sense of wanting to connect with your parts. Maybe some of those other C words. And then as you breathe out, just see if your parts could give you a little space, because it's in that space where relationship can happen. But in that breathing out spaciousness, kind of a need or a want for that, so that your parts can see you, you can see them, and then breathing in curiosity, compassion, belovedness. So just do a couple rounds of that breath and realize how it kind of gives space, but it tethers you and your parts together because they bring gifts. And so just pause for a bit and notice those thoughts, feelings, actions, impulses, beliefs. Let your parts know we just want to be curious. Not going to do any deep dives, but just acknowledge that they're here. Some, it may have been a long time. And see if there is one part in particular that may want attention more than the others today. Maybe it's a part that's working really hard, trying to get things right. Just see what you notice and just have that part step forward. And see how your other parts that have emerged but may not be needing attention quite as much today, just see if they could soften back, give us some space, and witness you getting to know this part that seems to be wanting attention most in this moment. If they're able to do that, thank them. Let them know that they can have a chance to. But for now, we can get more clarity and understanding, and maybe they can too, if we check in with this part that is most present right now. Then, if your parts are able to soften back, turn your attention back to the part that wants some attention, that we're going to give some attention for the next few minutes. Get a sense of where you notice that part, in or around your body. How do you know it's present? Clients often have senses in their gut, or maybe in their chest, or in their head. See if one of those may resonate. And if you can get a sense, just notice that. Then check in and see how you're feeling toward that part that you're noticing. Maybe in that chest or abdomen or your head. And if it's anything other than along the lines of that curiosity, compassion, calmness, it's likely another part that's jumping in, maybe one that softened back, maybe leaning in a little more. So notice that and just check in and see if that part that may be jumping in could just soften back and give a little space and remind it that it can have a chance in the future too. We're not going to forget about it. But for now, we can get more clarity and it may be able to get some more understanding and witnessing us engage with this part that we're noticing the most right now. And if it's able to soften back, thank it. And know too that if these parts can't soften back, maybe they're the one that need the attention right now. Just invite them in and see if that one that is front and center right now could maybe soften back. See if you can focus back on that part that is most present right now. And maybe sense into that sensation that you may have noticed again. Has it changed? Is it a different part? And maybe you have thinking parts that are coming up to see if they could soften back. We're not saying check your brain at the door. They may need attention too. Um, but see if they could just trust you and just trust the process for a bit. What part is in the center now? See if you can extend it a little curiosity. See what it may want you to know. Just say, I'm here. Let it share. Or maybe it has questions for you. Let it ask, but just be with this part for just a bit. How old is it? Does it know who you are? Is it surprised that you're older? Just notice what's coming up. Questions or things you may need to voice. Just let the part know that we're going to wrap up in just a bit for now, but just see if there's anything else. Just think that part that you gave some attention today for its courage and as much or as little as it's shared. Let it know this doesn't have to be the last time for it either, and maybe let it know when you can check back in. And when it feels complete for now, and let your parts know that maybe needing more time, that this recording will be posted. You can go back and pause it as much as you need to. For now, step back or allow that part that is front and center to soften back. And then notice those parts that came up that weren't front and center, but they had the courage to soften back, and thank them again for their courage in doing that. And let them know that they can have some attention too, and maybe let them know when you can do that. And then when you're ready, when it feels complete for now, just bring your attention back to the present moment where you are. You can open your eyes if they were closed. And hopefully you're sensing a sense of a little more spaciousness. If you are, see if you can take that out into your world and to those relationships around you. But thank you so much for joining me for this meditation. I'll hang around for a bit. If you have questions, you can type them in the chat, or if you're watching the recording, because I've found that many people do go back and catch the recording, go ahead and put your questions in the chat throughout the week, and I'll make note of those, and I'll answer those next week on this live at the same time at 9 a.m. where I am in the Midwest in the United States, 10 a.m. Eastern. And then you can convert from there. Send me an email if you need to, tim@faithfullygrowing.com. But so grateful for your courage, for all your parts in joining me here. Have a great week, and I look forward to connecting next week if we can. Take care.